Yes, my Straight Talk family, when you hear that theme song, you know it is time for me to say greetings to the entire world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we reach and communicate with you wherever you are on the globe, from right here in the beautiful federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, two islands and one lovely paradise. Irrespective of the things you hear at times, we are one lovely paradise. But in all families, there's usually disagreements. But let me say a very pleasant night to St. Kitts and Nevis, and a very pleasant night to the entire Caribbean region. I reach and touch and communicate with the diaspora all around the world. So I can say, and I will say, good night. I will say good afternoon, and in some instances I can and will say good morning, because we are communicating with you in the diaspora from Asia, from Europe, from Africa. And of course, there are a whole lot of you over there in North America. So I'm at liberty to extend such greetings, because I know that one such greeting will be applicable with you. And we do have first-timers, because many of you continue to share the link. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. And for the first-timers, just to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free expressions on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and of course, there are political perspectives. Whatever perspective we come from, we say we welcome that and promote free expression. On this program, we try as well to raise the level of national, international, and regional consciousness. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse by alerting all of our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And as your host, I always hasten to pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness. And I'm always reminded by a favorite hymn of mine. I always cite an excerpt from that hymn by Franz Joseph Haydn and Thomas Jackson, which goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and for the right, standing firm for godly justice, and my Straight Talk family, bringing evil things to light. So I always beg that we seek the courage needed for our high calling to fulfill, that we may all know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, I can assure you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program, neither by omission nor by exaggeration, because we are not about sensationalism, not at all. Straight Talk is not about sensationalism, because we always lean on the facts. We don't create excitement. as my duty is to present what I call the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, not only in St. Kitts and Nevis, but throughout the region, throughout the world, as a matter of fact, because this program, Straight Talk, we are joined together. It joins us together with people across our federation, with people in the diaspora all around the world, and my Straight Talk family. So with all these different views, we get and entertain what I call a diversity of opinions. And that's acceptable because we are a different people. But please, do not disappoint me by ever starting to become disagreeable. So let's thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation as always. And remember, let us thank Almighty God for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us therefore hope and pray for the day when we will all sing His praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks for those who continue to share the link. And if you're a first timer and you love it, go tell the world. If you don't, find me, tell me where I can improve the things or the areas I headed the wrong direction. But I must always remind you as well that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens. They are 663-6672 and or 646-829-6672. And there are some of you who like what I call the cloak of anonymity. You don't want to be heard, and that's understood because people are so scared in life today, especially in our country, where people are those in authority are so vindictive. So for you, we give you access via our email platform, and that address is also on your screens, and it is Straight Talk Patches. That's one word, STRAIGHTT patches@gmail.com. And Straight Talk is also heard live on Alexa. And if you have that application, just say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio, and you'll be hearing me live as well on that forum. So, my Straight Talk family, and we always thank the owner of Alexa who provides our access via at a nominal cost, I may add. And I say thank you. And for some of you as well who have made donations, I want to thank you. I must reassure you that your donation, your contributions helps us to continue this service. So don't you ever stop. No matter how small it is, $1, $5, whatever it is, my Straight Talk family, we welcome it. Because this public service helps us. And others may wish to donate. You can simply scan the code on your screen to access the payment form. It's a very, very simple process, I can assure you, my Straight Talk family. So let's say thanks and look forward to your continuing support. I must also say a special welcome to my junior brigade. Yes, I can never, ever do a program without acknowledging my junior brigade. Young Dwayne, Jackie, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Young Rue, Jamal, Travis Travon, Saraya, and Nima, my grandson. And all of you I know are getting prepared. Hope you are prepared to return to school come this Monday, I believe, and see you in your school uniforms. We normally have our observations in review as well. That's when we highlight some issues, the current, we do some reflection, we ask a few questions, and most importantly, one of the questions, we try to establish what new we've learned as a people. And after our observations, we will begin our thesis for tonight which I have titled Fair Share for the Brantleys, Nothing for Nevisians. So please don't change your link, don't change your platform. Spread the word that Straight Talk is live on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Alexa. And our first observation, and I have one observation for tonight, and it relates to the ongoing CPL. Because after sponsoring the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots for, I believe, some 11 or 12 years, our relationship with the owners of that franchise seemed to be sitting in limbo, if I can use the term. First of all, the owner did make it public that the budget for this year was cut, reduced. And he said this to us on one of the local and leading radio stations in the Federation. He said this, my Shredak family.
Caribbean Premier League, you need to understand there's so many things to it. Number one is it's a population. The profits are purely based out of the population of a place and what sort of advertisements, what sort of sponsors that you get overall. Because we have some fixed expenses. Every team in the CPL probably have an expense of about $2.5 to $3 million, and US dollars, and then it depends upon what sort of sponsors we get mainly, and what sort of a central revenue we get, and minus that is your profit or loss. But most of the time it is only red, not blue.
What drew you to St. Kitts and Nevis, particularly?
Well, in the Straight Talk family, so we got to the fact that the budget was cut for this year, and I am concerned because the CPL or a franchise carrying the logo or name of St. Kitts Nevis on the front of a shirt, it's something that it's so invaluable, and in stadium branding and as demonstrated by the games, they'll deal with the Patriots, sponsor secure primary or prime logos replacement on their jerseys, and visibility across stadium signage, broadcast backdrops, and digital channels. And the CPL reached in 2021 over 500 million viewers, my Straight Talk family. So to have issues, it's of some great concern, because the owner also said this.
So we got emails. See, every year we have to pay X amount of money for renting the grounds, the cricket ground from the sports ministry. So this year was a bit tough year of not getting too many sponsors, especially from the island. So when that was all happening, we got an email from the sports ministry stating that they would like to hike the ground rates by about $50,000 more for 5 matches, which is approximately like $10,000 per match. And our management immediately replied back out of frustration that, if we are not going to be welcome and if we are not going to support us, then probably we'll be looking at a different venue. I'm emphasizing the word different venue to play this particular season, because we are not going to accept that particular rise in amount. Unfortunately, this spread like a wildfire across the island, where it was interpreted or saying that change of venue was moving out of franchise. So there's a lot of difference between change of venue. I will always be a patriot and patriot forever. But we only said change of venue. What I mean to say is if another venue, if another place is giving us for a cheaper pricing, we'll continue to do that. That was what was discussed. But when that reached, I don't know how it got leaked, but when it went around, people started saying that he is moving into Grenada because as I started off initially, I myself have said I'm into a lot of businesses in Grenada.
There's a lot of businesses in Grenada. And Mahesh Ramani, I think is the name of the owner, he made a comment that he will always be a patriot. Yes, but he can be a Grenadian patriot or St. Lucia patriot or some other patriot. But the fact is though, my Stray Dog family, in 2024, the CPL contributed some US $16.9 million to St. Kitts and Nevis' economy, up 15% from the previous year by visitor spending, media exposure, and more. And this come from the Caribbean Premier League newsroom. Region-wide, CPL generated $200.9 million in economic impact in 2022, highlighting its power to drive local jobs, accommodation, occupancy, and small business activity. But our populations are small.
I'm not against anybody, you know. I love everyone, all of them. I see them as probably the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, whether they're in politics or they're sports and everything across. Well, there is a few truths. We are waiting still for some assistance, what we asked from the government, and it's going to come in eventually. And then we will, I think most of the people are not in the island at the moment, so when they're coming in, I think we'll have some sort of a good results. I'll take a couple of moments to probably, where the disadvantage what we are facing than to other franchises. At least the people should also be aware. Purely on one part is, number one, we talk about gate collections. Trinidad, Guyana, they have a great collections of close to about 2 million and plus for all the 5 matches.
Right.
Barbados has got about $750,000 to $800,000 as gate collections. St. Lucia has got $400 to $450,000 as gate collections. Whereas, because the population here is very small,
So small, yeah.
our gate collection doesn't cross $25,000 to $30,000 at any point of time. So there itself, I'm having a major hit.
Right.
So yes, having a major hit, because our gate collections, believe it or not, my Stray Dog family, just between 25 and 30,000 compared to Trinidad and Tobago. Well, of course, they have bigger populations. But the fact is, decisions will be made because Mahesh Ramani is a businessman. He has businesses in Grenada and St. Lucia. Infrastructure businesses, he said. Well, while we hope to have the St. Kitts Patriots, beg your pardon, to continue in our homeland as our franchise owned by Ramani, we trust and hope that common sense will prevail, and those in authority, especially the Ministry of Tourism, will understand the importance of having that franchise, because whenever the next match is played, it's beamed all around the world. Millions, hundreds of millions look at the matches, and St. Kitts and Nevis is focused. How do you measure that in terms of the returns we get for that franchise? So let's hope, my Stray Dog family, that Mahesh Ramani will remain a patriot, but not just a patriot, a St. Kitts Nevis patriot. And we trust that this franchise will grow from strength to strength. The 1-1 tournament, let's see what happens this year on. And that's my observation for tonight, my Stray Dog family. And I'll move right into my thesis for tonight without hesitation, that I've titled Fair Share for the Brantleys, Nothing for Nevisians. And my Straight Talk family, in a nation where food is scarce, but greed is plenty, is not the nation we deserve. Nevis, and by extension St. Kitts Nevis, is on the verge of losing its independence, its sovereignty, its land, and its people. The time to act, I dare say, is now. But government corruption, influence peddling, and what seemed like insider trading, conflict of interests, especially involving Premier Mark Brantley and his wife, Sharon M. Brantley, undue influence in land transfers via a company called 17 Degrees, a billionaire associate of the Premier potentially benefiting via a shell or local company named South Nevis Limited. And we provided that information for you before. And for the record, we'll provide it one more time. This shell or company, South Nevis Limited, registered in St. Kitts under in Nevis, St. Kitts Nevis, beg your pardon, under the owner as Olivier Johnson. Now, my Straight Talk family is sustainability development project being issued as a pretext for a land grab in Nevis's southeast peninsula area. And the Premier has come to us hastily after telling so many lies. He has come to us hastily with a national broadcast. But we know, we preempt what he's going to say. But the fact is, these are grave concerns, if accurate, particularly where government resources and influence may be used for private enrichment. Transparency and public accountability have been bypassed. Citizens are misled under the banner of economic development. And my Straight Talk family, I'm not here to bring you fear. I'm here to awaken the fire of truth and courage that has long burned in the hearts of our people. And I submit, we are on the brink, not just of losing our land, but of losing the soul of our nation. 3 years ago, many will not even remember, Premier Mark Brantley stood before us and spoke of a grand plan, the Southeast Peninsula Road 2.0, he called it. He told us this, my Straight Talk family.
We have said in our manifesto that we now want to introduce term limits for the Premier. 2 terms. And then it's bye-bye. Somebody else should be able to step up to the plate.
2 terms, and then it's bye-bye. My Straight Talk family, before that, he also said, my Straight Talk family, that he wanted to do this.
We want to do that South Coast Road to open up the south coast of Nevis for development. I've dubbed that our Southeast Peninsula 2.0 because it recognizes Kennedy Simmons Highway in St. Kitts opened up the Southeast Peninsula for development. We want to do the same because from you leave Long Point all the way around to Gingerland, there's no development, no infrastructure. We want to change that.
My Straight Talk family, many of us listen politely and few understood the depths of its consequences. Southeast Peninsula Road 2.0 from Long Point all the way to Saddle Hill. Yes, my Stray Dog family, some 3,840 acres of land, privately owned land. He will come tonight and tell us that who wants to sell, sell, and government won't take the land. But don't trust the snake, my Stray Dog family. You can never do. Today, the veil is being pulled back. And what lies beneath is a betrayal of the highest order by a local company called 17 Degrees. And when asked about the company, this was the response of Mark Brantley.
We've been hearing a lot about 17 Degrees North. What is the connection between 17 Degrees North and the Nevis Island administration? Is it true that representative of 17 Degrees North has been approaching landowners and residents in the area of Long Point to Butlers, trying to negotiate the sale of lands there? If yes, what is the reason?
17 Degrees North. I have to smile because 17 Degrees North is my wife's business. It's owned by Sharon M. Brantley. It is my wife's business, and she's entitled to have a business just as you are, and just as anybody else in this island is entitled to have a business. As I understand it, 17 Degrees North is into real estate, buying and selling of real estate. I'm aware that there are investors who are looking at significant investments on the island. I'm aware that various investors are looking at investing on the island of Nevis. 17 Degrees North has zero connection to the government. 17 Degrees North is not involved with any government land. If I offer myself for elective office, I must say to my wife, who's had a business prior to me getting involved in politics, I'm sorry, darling, but you have to shut it down.
17 Degrees North, my Stray Dog family. They're into the business of buying and selling. They're investors in the island. Right now, trying to buy some 3,000 acres of land on the south west coast. And remember, don't lose sight of the fact that he told us first it was to open up the land for a bypass road.
We want to do that South Coast Road to open up the south coast of Nevis for development. I've dubbed that our Southeast Peninsula 2.0 because we recognize this Kennedy Simmons Highway in St. Kitts opened up the Southeast Peninsula for development. We want to do the same because from you leave Long Point all the way around to Gingerland, there's no development, no infrastructure. We want to change that.
But my Stray Dog family, 3 years have passed. Almost. And in the meantime, a foreign billionaire, Olivier Janssens, who has never toiled in our fields, who has never raised a family on our soil, who knows nothing of our struggles, now moves like a shadow through the halls of our government. Behind his smile lies a plan, not for sustainable development, but for a private principality on our land, my Stray Dog family. All our land on the southeast, in the southeast area. No matter what Mark Brantley says tonight, my Stray Dog family, he was caught red-handed. Because a libertarian playground, a tax-free haven, a zone with its own law, where Nevisians are not citizens but servants, would come to the fore, my Stray Dog family. And we can glean this from this press release. This press release by the libertarians came to us, my Stray Dog family, came to us, and you can glean from the press release, my Straight Dog family, that these libertarians are all about owning our land, my Straight Dog family. All about owning our land, my Straight Dog family. And when we look at it, when we examine or read the press release, you can glean for yourselves what is being said, my Straight Dog family, in the press release. And an excerpt reads, the Free Society Foundation, spearheaded by its founder, Olivier Janssens, and other prominent libertarian and cryptocurrency figures, announced its plans to form the world's first libertarian country. They are in preliminary talks with governments to purchase sovereignty and autonomy over a piece of land. When we started contacting governments, interest was much higher than initially anticipated, says Mr. Janssen, who has been working on the project for the past several years. He goes on, we have backing of over 100 million US dollars in private capital and are committed to the mission of realizing the world's first free society. And the email goes on, my Straight Dog family. It speaks to Roger Vale in the penultimate paragraph. One of the co-founders adds, I am incredibly excited to be part of this project that will finally create a society based on voluntary interactions instead of government force. The Free Society Foundation is exploring ways for the public and interested parties to participate. Many prominent names in the libertarian world are joining their team, and more will be revealed later, my Straight Dog family. If our people refuse to sell their land to this foreign company, they will not be met with respect. They will be met with threats, no matter what the snake Mark Brantley would come and tell us tonight. Because of the backlash Mark Brantley will deny, he will deny that there will be eminent domain, a tool meant to serve public good, will become a weapon of coercion. Landowners will be intimidated, families pressured, communities divided. Well, my Straight Dog family, when Kennedy Simmons was building the Southeast Peninsula Road, it had to encroach on private lands. Until this day, some owners are still being paid for those lands. Isn't the road on the southeast coast in Nevis going to encroach on lands? And who will stand by? My Straight Dog family. Landowners are being pressured. Although he will come tonight and say otherwise. But who will stand by and watch? Who will facilitate it? Premier Brantley. While he stood in front of the cameras and spoke of special sustainable zones, Janssens and his associates were speaking a different language entirely. I just read the press release from the Free Society Foundation, spearheaded by Janssens himself. They did not speak of Nevis. They spoke of a libertarian country, a nation within a nation, complete with its own laws, its own economy, its own security forces, and yes, its own energy supply. But let's ask the question, the hard question. If Nevis is developing geothermal energy that can supply the entire Federation and beyond, why does this new zone need its own energy source? What are they planning that requires complete detachment from our island's infrastructure? Let's speak the truth. This isn't about development. This is about exile, secession, and sovereignty for sale. Ask yourselves the question, why is Premier Brantley just coming to the people after being so quiet? He said he'll take 2 terms. When he will introduce that legislation? Where will he go after his 2nd term? He has already secured his position in the new libertarian enclave. The people of Nevis get nothing, while the Brantleys get everything. They get their fair share. This is modern day colonialism. This is modern day colonization, led not by foreign powers alone, but by our own premier, a modern day slave trader, capturing the land and the people of Nevis, binding us with invisible chains, and delivering us to Europe's ultra-rich, my straight talk family. Make no mistake, Johnson's has already married into royalty, whereas Roger Bayes is sitting in an American jail. Johnson married the granddaughter of King Umberto II of Italy, the last king of Italy, my straight talk family. You think this is coincidence? They are not just buying land. They are building a new nation, a principality on our soil. They plan to pay off the debts of Nevis and in return own that part of this country. And let us not forget, Roger Ver, Johnson's associate, known as the Bitcoin Jesus, is now sitting, like I said, in an American jail. These are the men our premier has welcomed into our future. Criminals, opportunists, global libertarians, turning our paradise into their playground. My straight talk family. And this came from their own source, my straight talk family.
Roger Ver, aka Bitcoin Jesus, and Olivier Janssens are trying to transform a long sought after libertarian ideal into a reality. As Cointelegraph reports, the pair has announced that they're in the process of creating the first independent state governed by libertarian values, and they've invited any like-minded individuals to join them. The pair said Friday that they're working with a team of lawyers to try and figure out how to legally create their own independent country. Ver is a longtime advocate of Bitcoin who surrendered his U.S. citizenship and became a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis a few years back. The pair have yet to disclose the location, nor has indicated what entry standards would be required. The country, which would be reminiscent of Ayn Rand's Gaussian paradise, is intended to be a place where those who reject governmental controls and seek to maintain libertarian freedoms can gather and promote a truly free society. Cointelegraph reports that the locations being evaluated include areas that are safe and conflict-free, but also enjoy proximity to economic centers in the U.S., Europe, and Asia, while also being accessible by water. The team is hoping to offer a stable government with substantial national debt, a way to eliminate some of that debt with a land lease to free society. On its website, the team says they've started preliminary talks with governments and interest is much higher than initially expected.
Yes, they've started preliminary talks. But they've gone beyond that. Roger Ver may be in jail, but his associate, Olivier Johnson, has established a company already in Nevis. But hear this. Mark Brantley, Olivier Janssens, and your billionaire club. Nevis is not for sale. We the people will not be coerced. We will not be silenced. And this is what Nevisians have told me to tell Mark Brantley tonight. We will not allow you to sell our land, our freedom, our heritage for a seat at your royal table. Let this be a rallying cry for every Nevisian on every mountain, in every village from Gingerland to Charlestown. The principality ends here. The betrayal ends now, and the fight for our future begins. Hear this again, my Street Dog family.
Roger Ver aka Bitcoin Jesus and Olivier Janssens are trying to transform a long sought after libertarian ideal into a reality. As Cointelegraph reports, the pair has announced that they're in the process of creating the first independent state governed by libertarian values, and they've invited any like-minded individuals to join them. The pair said Friday that they're working with a team of lawyers to try and figure out how to legally create their own independent country. Ver is a longtime advocate of Bitcoin who surrendered his U.S. citizenship and became a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis a few years back. The pair have yet to disclose the location, nor has indicated what entry standards would be required.
And yes, my Street Dog family, Roger Ver, a citizen of St. Kitts, renounced his U.S. citizenship. He has not announced which island, which country. But while our people struggle for their fair share, while communities cry out for opportunity, infrastructure, and justice, we've learned that 6 square miles of Nevisian land, our heritage, our legacy, our home, are being quietly handed over to a foreign billionaire, cloaked in secrecy, wrapped in deceit, and being sold off under the seductive but fraudulent banner of sustainable development. Mark Brantley got caught, was forced to come to the nation tonight. But it is the same man, same Olivier Janssens yacht on which he spent his holiday, his billionaire friend, my Street Dog family. And look at what he wrote, having signed the deal. Read it for yourselves, my Street Dog family. Read it. Read it yourselves, my Street Dog family. You will see what this man has done to St. Kitts and Nevis, my Street Dog family. He's not a good leader. But we ask the question, sustainable for who? I ask you, who is this really sustaining? Not the people of Nevis, not our farmers, not our youth, not our small business. No, it sustains one billionaire, one premier and his wife, and one corrupted vision. And the private greed of a political elite who have mistaken public office for personal ownership. Let us be clear. The Premier's wife, Sharon M. Brantley, has no electoral mandate, no constitutional authority, and no moral right. She began purchasing land in the very area now slated for the so-called Southeast Peninsula 2.0, a scheme born in backroom deals and sealed by self-interest. A project designed not to uplift Nevisians, but to enrich a chosen few. The Premier took the airwaves tonight. I guarantee he will not make mention of his billionaire friend. He will never tell us about his vacation on that multi-million-dollar yacht in Monaco. He will not. I guarantee that, my Street Dog family. But the facts speak louder than his words, and the people are no fools, my Street Dog family. This is not development. This is dispossession. This is not progress. This is plunder. And if the leader truly believes his wife has the right to sell out the soul of Nevis, if he dares to defend this grotesque land grab, then he must be voted out and driven out, my Street Dog family. Vote him out of office. Drive him out. Because no leader who trades away the sovereignty of his people deserves to sit one day longer in the seat of power. Our land, our birthright is being taken from us. not sold to empower our people, not least to bring long-term benefit to Nevisians, but handed over piece by piece to the foreign billionaires. And who is facilitating that handover, my Straight Dog family? A woman, Grenadian born, my Straight Dog family.
We've been hearing a lot about 17 degrees north. What is the connection between 17 degrees north and the Nevis Island administration? Is it true that representative of 17 degrees north has been approaching landowners and residents in the area of Long Point to Butlers, trying to negotiate the sale of lands there? If yes, what is the reason?
17 degrees north. I have to smile because 17 degrees north is my wife's business. It's owned by Sharon M. Brantley. It is my wife's business, and she's entitled to have a business just as you are, and just as anybody else in this island is entitled to have a business.
We've been hearing a lot about 17 degrees north. What is the connection between 17 degrees north and the Nevis Island administration? Is it true that representative of 17 degrees north has been approaching landowners and residents in the area of Long Point to Butlers, trying to negotiate the sale of lands there? If yes, what is the reason?
17 degrees north. I have to smile because 17 degrees north is my wife's business. It's owned by Sharon M. Brantley.
And my Straight Dog family, he laughs. But this is not a laughing matter, because 17 degrees north is helping to broker these deals. A real estate company, which just so happens to be run by Sharon M. Brantley, the wife of the Premier. And let me repeat that. The wife of the Premier is the principal of the real estate company involved in this so-called development project. Does that sound like fairness? Does that sound like transparency? No. It sounds like a family empire, my Straight Dog family, being built with public power and private greed, while ordinary Nevisians are told to wait patiently for jobs, for roads, for trickle-down miracle. There is fair share for the Brantleys, nothing for Nevisians, my Straight Dog family. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I'll open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. As we continue, we'll provide more information on Roger Veer and Olivier Johnson's. My Straight Dog family, Nevis is not for sale. We must not allow this to happen. The numbers are 663-6672 and or 649-829-6672. I always implore you that when I open the lines, and I'll do so momentarily, that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure, my Straight Dog family, that when I hear you make your contribution, let's hope it will be beneficial to all concerned. Let's also hope in the process of doing and saying the things you say, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis, my Straight Dog family. Let's go to the lines and say good night to our first caller. It's 5 before the 9 o'clock hour. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear.
Reject every form of corruption. It diverts resources from the poor.
It diverts resources from the poor?
From the poor.
The poor. It diverts resources from the poor. Yes, resources from the poor. Yes, that's so true.
Poor.
Mm-hmm.
I repeat, reject every form of corruption which diverts resources from the poor. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Which diverts corrupt resources from the poor. That's our first caller and our normal quotation, my street dog family. But Brantley was caught red-handed. He told us that he was going to ensure that we have a Southeast Peninsula 2.0. But we learned different. We learned from our
Roger Ver, aka Bitcoin Jesus, and Olivier Janssens are trying to transform a long sought-after libertarian ideal into a reality. As Cointelegraph reports, the pair has announced that they're in the process of creating the first independent state governed by libertarian values, and they've invited any like-minded individuals to join them. The pair said Friday that they're working with a team of lawyers to try and figure out how to legally create their own independent country. Ver is a longtime advocate of Bitcoin who surrendered his U.S. citizenship and became a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis a few years back. The pair have yet to disclose the location, nor has indicated what entry standards would be required. The country, which would be reminiscent of Ayn Rand's Gaussian paradise, is intended to be a place where those who reject governmental controls and seek to maintain libertarian freedoms can gather and promote a truly free society. Cointelegraph reports that the locations being evaluated include areas that are safe and conflict-free, but also enjoy proximity to economic centers in the U.S., Europe, and Asia, while also being accessible by water. The team is hoping to offer a stable government with substantial national debt, a way to eliminate some of that debt with a land lease to free society. On its website, the team says they've started preliminary talks with governments and interest is much higher than initially expected.
Well, my street dog family, Roger Ver, we know, is sitting in a U.S. jail. But his associate, in the meantime, has registered his company, South Nevis Limited. The premier confessed that 17 degrees north is a realtor, a company owned by his wife.
It is my wife's business, and she's entitled to have a business just as you are, and just as anybody else in this island is entitled to have a business. As I understand it, 17 Degrees North is into real estate, buying and selling of real estate. I'm aware that there are investors who are looking at significant investments on the island. I'm aware that various investors are looking at investing on the island of Nevis.
And, of course, very close to the head of government. She must obviously know who are these investors. That's why she approached my street dog family. She approached those investors in an attempt to purchase land. We don't know my street dog family, and I know that this leader, I haven't heard his broadcast, but I'm sure he'll say the opposite. Why, ask yourselves, why did billionaire Olivier Janssen have or had to register this company? Why? Why, if they are, according to the plan, just doing a bypass road, you had to have special zones, and you're not going to take? I bet without listening to that broadcast, I can put my neck on the block that the snake Mark Brantley would have denied that the government intends to acquire or compulsorily, if that's the right term, acquire anybody's land. Do not believe him. These libertarians want to get land, and they have the money and Nevis is in debt. Let's go back to the lines, my Straight Talk family, and say good night to this caller. I thank you for holding caller. You're live.
Mr. Straight Talk.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. How are you, my wonderful brother?
I am peaceful, my brother. I am peaceful.
You're
yourself?
really peaceful, but you're burning up tonight. You're letting off and pour the snake, but you know you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well,
understand? If you don't do it, who is going to do it? So you are doing a wonderful job of letting off on him. You know,
course.
we have to hold him guilty, because if we don't come to our court lady last week, we're gonna lose everything.
That's so correct.
Understand? So we have to stand up. The people have to stand up. If they don't stand up now, it's gonna be gone. So I just want to thank you for what you are doing. Anyway, let me just say good night to my wonderful people, my lovely niece there in St. Louis and Texas Queen, my brother Alvin, and my lovely sister Joan down there in Lodge, and Ellis, and my wonderful niece Abigail. Mr. Straight Talk, I don't know what's going on in Nevis. Understand? And it sounds like our Brantley just want to do like what Douglas do. Me and this guy was talking, me and my nephew was talking. You got to do some homework for me. What happened to Douglas' case in England?
I understand that the matter was settled, and he did not claim the money.
They don't let us know that he settled.
He did not claim the money. He did not claim the money. So
he did not claim the money.
That is my understanding.
I was just going to give you some homework for you, but he says he didn't.
That's my understanding. His lawyers didn't claim the money.
It's all right, as long as you get some understanding of it, because we was just asking last night what really happened to that money. You know, that was a lot of $1,000.
Oh, yes.
You know. But, you know, because he was telling me, I said, guy, he was announcing, he was saying me that the man had the money. So everybody should know that he had, but he said, no, the people don't. So I just tell him, look, guy, just leave this thing alone. But Mr. Straight Talk, you're doing a wonderful job, and just continue to do what you do. Mrs. Court Lady, I want you to give Straight Talk your number. I'm coming, and we have to see who you is. He don't know your name, I don't know your name, and I think you're a wonderful sister. And that young man in town there, that does be calling, I don't know his name and you don't know his name. I just want to see them to, you know, we's a family. So I'm getting there. Mr. Straight Talk, when the show over, can you give me a call back? Because I don't have your thing number.
Okay, I'll
Because I want to talk to you about something, so can you do that for me? I'll thank you so much. I think I said enough, and what going on there. I'm gonna just say good night for now, and I thank you so much for accepting my call. Just do what you are doing, Straight Talk. We come in, understand, and you are getting there. You are doing a wonderful job. Just continue to do what you do. Ditto. See you when I see you.
Ditto.
Take your time. Abracadabra.
Yes, my Straight Dog family. Abracadabra. We go back to the lines and we say good night to this caller. It's 4 past the 9 o'clock hour. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Yes. Thank you. There was a pause. Good night, my brother Patches.
Good night, sir.
Good night to all the listeners of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And good night to all the listeners far and beyond. Brother Patches, I'm asking you one question straight up. What is the penalty for a person who is treasonous to his country and committed treason? Can you answer that for me?
Give
me your honest answer.
Well, I don't want to misguide not just you but my my viewership. Because treason it's a serious offense, and I'll have to research it and get back to you. I don't want to speculate in our jurisdiction what is the penalty for treason. I suspect it's a life imprisonment. Let me take back that. I'll have to research it. I'm not gonna speculate.
Okay. So. Retract. Okay.
Yes.
First of all, I was trying to find out how much people will align with me in my perspective, but I've read literatures. The penalty for treason is death, or banishment, or exile. But in our country, I believe we can go further. Okay? We have the capital punishment for people who kill. It's not being activated the way it should be, because we have killers, we have murderers who should be in that predicament. But I guess there was pardon or compassionate. But let me put this. I am shifting my rule of engagement to Nevis. Because what happened in St. Kitts, there was not the chance when this sellout of our land, example the Southeast Peninsula, Christophe Harbour. But I am in present of the beginning. Should it happen, and should needs be for Nevis, let me talk to the people of Nevis. I was born in St. Kitts, and at the age of 13, I moved over to Nevis to be with my grandmother and my grandparents and my cousins, my nephews and niece. And there I dwelt, and there I became comfort, and there I was able to enhance my educational track moving forward. Thank God for Nevis. There is no way Winston Welcome will stand up and let Nevis be sold out by these treasonous leaders, and namely, I'm free to call name, Mark Brantley and his foreign wife, who is an accessory to the crime, and both of them is each other. There is no way I will sit down and not jump in the political career over in Nevis. Like I said, I'm shifting the rule of engagement. Nevis, Winston Welcome is coming, and Winston Welcome will come in with the great power and autonomy. To all those who don't understand what is going on in Nevis, the education in a nutshell, your land is in jeopardy, and say no for the cost of dirty money and the forecast that is in motion to be. We are living in peace and tranquility without intervention of foreign forces, and now we are about to, because of the selling out, the act of treason from your own within, domestic terrorists. And that's what these people are. But, like I said already, and I will reiterate, for me, should I win a seat and get the chance to be selected to be the leader, all these treasonous people, I make sure I appointed judges and lawyers to try you. And if found guilty, the penalty shall be death by hanging. I'm not a hanger, I'm not a killer. But there are some people No wonder why they're back in the days and still going on suicide bombers. And we have some of them home. And that's what Mark Brantley and all his cabals and thieves are. Hell no! Hell no! For dirty money. It shall not happen. Nevisians, do not let it happen. Be strong, be brave, and say no. Deterrence is a good chance, but I hope you all don't let that happen. Because you're going to wake up with no land and nothing for your children moving forward. Thank you. First round. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. I stand to be corrected, but as I promise you, I'll research it. But I have did some preliminary work, and it seemed the work I've done seems to suggest that our Constitution permits capital punishment for treason. The Constitution of St. Kitts and Nevis explicitly allows for the death penalty in cases of treason or murder. I haven't found, meanwhile, which part of the Constitution have said that. But nonetheless, we have not had a capital punishment or death penalty imposed since 2008 or something like that. So we'll see what happens in that, if that eventuality ever presents itself. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patches, good evening, man. Yeah, how you doing tonight, Patches, man?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty peaceful myself, man. Yeah, good evening to you and the listeners home and abroad. And, the battle of the lands continue. Hands off of Nevis's lands and St. Kitts' lands by extension as well. Patches, we were lucky to get our hands on those lands coming out of slavery. And down the line, I'm going to talk only maybe from independence forward. I'm only of a certain age, but the history is needed as well. And kudos to those who always bring the history of these two small island states. And the people of the day, the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, got to pay attention to what's going on. We saw that for some years, 41 years this year, our politicians took a bunch of money that came into last year in the CBI program, and they mismanaged the money. The money went here, there, and everywhere, down in some rabbit holes. And the Federation of St. Kitts is left to scrap. We don't see where that money went. St. Kitts and Nevis should be in tip-top shape. And we can't get the services. Okay, let's get over to Nevis real quick. I'm going to call out the premier. First of all, politics is local. And I'm going to start in the local city where I'm from. And then I'm going to call out the prime minister as well. Last week, I called on a particular politician in the Federation, a very current and vital one at that. In situations like this, we would ask the question, where is the opposition? If the opposition or if some politicians are not saying nothing, there's a favorite saying. If you're not opposing, you are for. If you're not against, you are for. With all the hullabaloo that's going on right now, I bet you none of these politicians will go in there and repeal this law. If this law keep going forward and become an act and be gazetted and become an act. Anyway, back to the Nevis side. And I'm calling out the premier tonight. What he said tonight, I don't really buy it. I know this man since 12 years old. And Patches, when you know somebody for that long, you could tell and you get an insight of how they are. Nevis people got to pay attention. Patches, and you played some vital clips tonight, and you show You have shown some documents and, whatever other stuff you showed tonight. Very vital to backing up your thesis and your observations tonight. And it's backing up what we've been hearing for the past couple of weeks since this bill was rushed through and passed in Parliament. And in some parts of the Constitution, Nevis's rights seems like it's being, passed off back to the federal government. Nevis people got to be careful with that. We don't want to talk about that clause 113 that much, but it's not really relevant at this time. I don't think so in this discussion, but I think Nevis sovereignty is under attack. There's a certain person and persons and syndicates that's trying to get that clause 113 removed and 110 and some other clauses. And Nevis got to be careful with their own sovereign rights and their minority interests. We are a federation right now, and we need to move as such. And yes, relationships could and should be strengthened. And a lot of reforms should come. We're not seeing any reforms coming. Once these politicians get inside, they don't change anything. And the land is our patrimony. Just like how they took that passport and sold it out and collect all that money, and we don't see where part of that money went, they're about to take our lands and do the same thing. And that medical marijuana, we got to pay attention to that as well. Like I said, from being from Nevis, I'm very particular about what's going on there. And if the Nevis people don't stand up right now, we're going to lose our lands. These persons that's pushing to get that 1/6 of Nevis, 6 square miles, if we don't stand up, they are going to get it. They're going to flush us out. The ways that they're doing it is patches. They want all the land collectively, right? So that they could get this enclave, right? But remember, everybody is not going to sell. So what the premier has done, he forces the prime minister's hands and put this bill in place so that any person on that south side who put up a fight, they're going to grab their lands by eminent domain. One of the only thing I want to say right now before I get off is the people on the top of the airport, collectively, they should stand their ground and make a statement to the premier. Do not collect one dime of that corrupted money. And Patches, every party that hear my voice on here and some other podcast radio stations, they already heard me say that Bitcoin and that cryptocurrency, they were coming to entertain it. And we hear what you said tonight concerning those currencies and those players. One is in jail, but guess what? The other one registered a business. Patches, what's the address to register that business in Sinkits? Does it just generally say Sinkits and that's it? Or Nevis or whatever? There must be like a particular address. Or there's some crooked lawyers underground that's facilitating this stuff and making this stuff happen. And
the address is Monaco in France.
The guy that you said registered a business in Nevis, the Southlands,
Southwest. Yes, it's
yeah.
The address is Monaco. Monaco.
Oh, okay, got you. But them, they don't have to register inside the federation in order to do business in the federation.
I don't think that's mandatory.
Okay, but anyway, man. One last observation is I heard that there was a plan to put a road in over there in Nevis, right? The premier talked about the infrastructure, he talked about healthcare, and he talked about educational opportunities on that side when they grab those lands and make that enclave. But guess what? We didn't see them put in no infrastructure to benefit the local people who own those lands right now. We ain't seen no community college, no trade school being built on that side, and we ain't seen no like healthcare, like another regional hospital, or we can't even get a room on the current hospital completed. We are not completing anything to benefit the locals, and now here we are with this big grand scheme plan that this is so grand for the people of Nevis. And I'll leave it there. Thanks a lot, Patches, man. And I really appreciate you giving me that extended time, man. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. It's now 20 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. And my Straight Dog family, we are looking at the fair share that obviously for the Brantleys, and there's no fair share for Nevisians. And I'm trying to open my email here. When you see me pausing there, forgive me if I seem to be stuttering. I'm trying to get my emails open, but yes, there's no fair share for Nevisians. And this email reads, let me get the emails from my phones then. And this email reads, my Straight Dog family, Edinburgh last week, with your foulness, chose to attack the Honourable Janice Daniel Hodge because she rightly condemned Brantley and Drew of collaboration in their deceptive scheme to arrogate Nevis lands and to give to foreigners. Who the hell is Edinburgh to dispel and denounce what Janice said? She's perfectly correct with the statement. You said you're not defending Brantley because he do not like you, and similarly, you do not like him. For your information in the borough, Nevisians do not care who like you. What we do know is that both of you are two political prostitutes, and Dwyer was so correct when he first labeled you a political prostitute. Just imagine that you, a political prostitute, is the chief advisor to the Prime Minister. What good advice can a man of your nefarious character give to the Prime Minister except bad advice? Keep out of politics and keep Janice Daniels Hodge's name out of your foul mouth. Nevisians will not stand idly by and allow you to tarnish Janice's reputation. If the Prime Minister is one who sent you on the radio last week to blemish the Honourable Leader of NRP, please the Premier, tell him you know see her reads this email. And my Straight Dog family, it's now 23 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. My quotation for tonight, I cannot forget, is reject every form of corruption which diverts resources from the poor. And yes, my Straight Dog family, the lines are open. I'm trying my best to get the emails that I'm trying to get them opened. It's a bit difficult on my telephone, but I'll see how best my Straight Dog family. But I did not listen to Brantley's speech. Obviously, it started at 8 o'clock, I believe, at the same time. But I am told that Brantley gave no details on his speech about the development. He did not even mention the name of the billionaire. It was all about sustainable jobs, but he did say that Janice and her brother sold to the billionaire already and that she's a hypocrite. Let's not be duped here. This is a coordinated operation between Brantley and Drew. God knows what Drew is planning to do with the land in St. Kitts. Now that we know that Brantley is bringing crypto criminals into Nevis to create the Liberty-Free Nation Society, modern day slavery, reads this email. It's now 25 past the 9 o'clock hour, and my Straight Dog family, you may have just joined me. My thesis, fair share for the Brantleys, nothing for Nevisians. I submit that a nation where food is scarce, but greed is plenty, is not the nation we deserve. I also submit that Nevis is on the verge of losing its independence, its sovereignty, its land, and its people. And the time to act is now. Government corruption, influence peddling and insider trading, conflict of interest, especially involving Mark Brantley and his wife Sharon M. Brantley, undue influence in land transfers via a company called 17 Degrees North. And Mark Brantley confessed that that company is belonging to one Sharon M. Brantley.
We want to do that South Coast Road to open up the south coast of Nevis for development. I've dubbed that our Southeast Peninsula 2.0 because we recognize this Kennedy Simmons Highway in St. Kitts opened up the Southeast Peninsula for development. We want to do the same because from you leave Long Point all the way around to Gingerland, there's no development, no infrastructure. We want to change that.
Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Okay, how you do?
Hello, my brother. I'm peaceful. Yourself? Sounds like the major.
Well, yes. Well, what I listen to, what I just listened to you and heard you say that you're peaceful. Yeah, to me, they look like you're so peaceful, you know.
No, I'm not. Why? What?
Looks, you look like you're so peaceful.
Looks are deceiving, my
Why
brother.
I said that? Huh?
I said, looks are deceiving.
Yeah, you see that. Well, you're right. Because you see, why I said that, you're not looking for socially. Because what you observe is what you observe. What you observe is what you observe, isn't it?
That's correct.
And as you observe, you see, once you observe it, you're looking into the life of people. You're looking into the life of me, and you whole thinking, and Nevis people, isn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah. You see, and because of that, we got to be careful. We got to be careful. You're observing something, and we got to get it sorted out, isn't it? It must be sorted. There's no argument in it. I don't think there's no argument in it.
Should not be.
Being peaceful, but at this time, we can't afford to be peaceful. We cannot afford to be peaceful, something. Because what you observe, you're observing something. Something that's an observation. And it is directly. It is directly, isn't it? It's not something direct.
It is.
Huh?
Yes, it is.
And you understand that we deal with people and people are funny. When I hear these things, my mother always said, you take everything you must stop. You got to leave something back to hold back. Because when the attack comes from, you have to be defensive, isn't it? When the attack comes, you have to be defensive.
True.
So being peaceful is a nice one. But that in this stage, as regards to this party, we can't hold the peaceful. Because it's something you see, it's something you observe. It is something that is everything makes sense. I say, it's an observation. You look at that's what social is all about, you know. It's observation. You have to be able to put over to observe because you have to do it when to attack. When to attack, you got to attack fully. Get it fully, and you got to get understand. We need to get some understanding on your attack. I don't know how you're going to get it, but what you observe, and you can show your evidence to see what you do. And then the people will be coming on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Major, for your intervention. Very short and to the point. And like you said, what you observe, you observe. This email reads, when Dr. Harris of the PLP made a national address to the nation, our fledgling and inexperienced Prime Minister denounced Harris's claim that Harris was out of order to address the nation because he's not the Prime Minister anymore. People are asking the question, will he similarly denounce the NRP and PAM leaders for addressing the Federation in a national address? Reads this email. What stupidness he does be saying? Can anyone tell me? Let's go back to the lines at 9:30. My Straight Dog family, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Liburd. Hello.
Yes,
Good evening.
Yes, my dear.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Kalajuan's aunt.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. How are you tonight?
I did not go. I cannot up to now. I think it comes at all. I'm using somebody's stuff. I'm using somebody's phone.
Okay. I'll check that matter. I'll check it out for you. I didn't remember to go back for it. I'm sorry about that, but I'll check it out for you.
Oh, okay. I'm here listening. Yes, I'm here listening to your program, and it's very important. I want the Lord tonight to bless you, strengthen you, guide you, keep you, shun you, and keep all manner of sickness and disease from you, and keep you and your family in good health tonight.
I thank you.
That Thesis and Nevis can hear what's going on in our country tonight. Politicians, Mr. Liburd, money and power get to the head so much that they forget about poor people who put them there. The poor gonna be out, it's gonna be out and rich, but empty-handed to this world tonight, and empty-handed going back. We cannot have nothing, neither house, land, nor money. Nothing we can carry back. The passport, what Dr. July is selling, that their job. He cannot bring the budget because no money there in the country. Everybody balling right presently now. People have to go back to school next week, God willing. And some of the parents, they only have crown and act for the children them to go back to school. What kind of thing going on in it? We cannot wait until 5 years to get the people out now. And we cannot do a lot of talking and talking and talking. It's to do action to get them out.
Yes.
They don't know the nonsense.
I am in agreement with
That's
you.
In the country.
I'm in agreement with
and
you.
We cannot just that like that. In the and go talking. Go and get them out. Think it cannot be any more of this year without just poverty. Smartly, you put us in poverty. Living in the supermarket today. And the cost of living, the price control is there. So everybody doing as they like. I do not know what's going on in thinking, but everybody feeling it presently right now. Everybody feeling it. Once ago, you used to see people on the road, the supermarket, them people in there, basket full of with people going to make shopping and whatnot. Not today. You're scared to anybody like the COVID come back again. You're scared to anybody on the road. The buses them, the money going up for the buses them, and you're scared to see people in the bus them. The bus on the farm, boop, with 2 and 3 persons. Since it ain't going on with Mr. Liburd, they need to go, They need to go. We need to go talk and get them out. That talk and talk and talk. Mr. Harris is the man to run this country. You know what he's doing? A lot of people are asking me back in. A lot of people praying every day for 5 years to come, but we cannot wait for 5 years, Mr. Liburd. We cannot wait no longer. It's time to do action to get all those people inside here. They don't know what they're doing. There's a bunch of ants there to come to stop people, God. All the money, they're going to complain. No money there. Who run the country? Who bring the budget? People used to get the money, I'll get the Social Security money, the 25th. One of the people by the bank to the going for the money, no money there that about tomorrow, the 26th. What is that? What is that? People don't got the king inside the head. Who said, well, okay, this is the day? The money there tomorrow. Every 25th. Every 25th, people go and get the money down there. Who are getting the pension? Now that about the money there. Wait until the 26th, which is tomorrow. I got a bunch of stupidness of one in the place, you know. Me don't know what them people putting the people in the fire, you know. Me don't know. The July phone them. See see the big hotel here, building up St. Vincent down the way, boy. Huh? All the people tax money, but here to be the money a minute. Here the cabal them up and play. And the next thing again, Mr. Liburd, that commissioner, zoom in with the police to kill my brother, Mr. Liburd, he ain't going on tonight, He ain't going on some, He's not going on at all tonight.
Okay.
That commissioner here, he don't have to go. Whenever the government changes, he going to have to go. That's it.
Okay.
Support it to big for him. And whenever the government changes, God, clear our life. Father God, I pray tonight. Let this government go tomorrow, God willing. Because they don't know one part what they're doing in this country. Okay. None of them.
Okay, my dear. Thanks a lot for your intervention. I hear your passionate voice as usual, and we understand.
None of them know what they're doing.
Yes, and we really can't wait. But thanks a lot, my dear. Thanks for your intervention as usual, and
yes, baby.
for your contribution.
We're gonna have an all election.
Yes. Okay,
all election we're gonna have.
Okay, my dear. Thanks a lot for your intervention. Sam Kondo, are you really real with this email? I doubt. You were deputy prime minister for 2 decades, and your leader and party treated you with utter disrespect. They kicked you about like a football as though you did not exist. Let me remind you of some of the sordid and squalid things they did to you. Reads this email. Nevisians, wake up, Brantleys. Think you are stupid. Look how he boasted and showing off himself on you, the voters in Nevis. He continues to boast that no matter how terrible he treats Nevisians, every election they still vote for him. Wake up, Nevisians, and once and for all, put this arrogant man in his place by rejecting him and the entire system next time around. Reads this email. Even when these special zones work, it's a minimum of 8 to 10 years before some benefit is felt by the greater population. Meanwhile, land is locked away from locals who have ambitions. So instead of the government coming up with the ways to assist the ambitious locals, they choose to entertain our modern-day slave masters. Look at how much land is available to common locals on the Southeast Peninsula. Again, we are relegated to being waiters, butlers, and grass cutters. Nonetheless, those at the top and their friends who like each other refuse to see the negative impacts. They won't exert the emotional effort needed to critically think about what the learned politicians and friends are proposing. I guess they can argue that there will be some immediate benefits, but just for those who own lands, the law firms and the real estate agents. But it is okay for the rest of the country to wait for years for their payday. Read this email. We have a question. Is it possible for these smart people to come to the public with these plans before they go in the House to pass the bills and then beg us to be understanding after the fact? Anyway, they came the dirty, underhanded tactic tonight to tell us that the leader of the opposition sold land, and also told us that they have no business in their wife's business. Really? He really takes us for fools. Reads this other email. Of course, everybody who wishes is entitled to have a business, but are they aware of something called insider trading? Reads this other email. There is no space in Monaco. They are looking for another place to entertain and house the wealthy. Reads this email. Patches, did I delete that email? I'm so sorry about that. Seems as if I deleted that email. Oh my. If these leaders really have locals in mind, would it have been possible for them to develop basic infrastructure, at least proper roads, water power, over in that barren part of Nevis, and allow locals to go in and develop it off their own steam? They do nothing. They see all the barren land and they get dreams of grandeur in their head, reads this email. Why Mark did not want Dr. Harris? Patches, it is so obvious now why people like Mark would not have wanted Dr. Harris as Prime Minister, because he would not have been able to push him around like how he knew he would have been able to push around Sean Andrew. What a fraud this Mark has turned out to be, reads this other email. And I think those are my emails. I just deleted an email in error. Oh, forgive me for that, my Straight Talk family. But it's 9:41. And for those of you who are joining me for the first time, Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday from 8 to 10 in the PM. Our quotation for tonight: reject every form of corruption which diverts resources from the poor. And tonight, my Straight Talk family, I did not come to bring you fear, but to awaken the fire of truth. But let's go back to the lines in the meanwhile and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Greetings.
Yes, greetings, my brother.
Blessed night to you, brother Patrick.
Yes, a blessed night, Ras Aya. How art thou tonight?
You give thanks. Just come out to EWF meeting here globally, you know, so listening to your program while I'm multitasking in that meeting there.
And what's EWF, may I ask?
Ethiopian World Federation. Okay. I'm not a member, I'm just moving forward as common levels go forward in the strength, you know.
Okay.
Basically, I'd like to just emphasize, blessed night to your listeners via Facebook and YouTube, as you call it. Now, hearing the details of the Premier press conference and the statement that was given out from the question that was posed to him, it sounds like he's trying to make this year look like his wife is more important than the people of Nevis.
Yep.
Well, I would like to ask you, before you all went into administration in 2015, did you know that there was an investigation against the Premier of Nevis when he was a member of Advanced Family Cabinet? Do you know that?
An investigation?
Yeah, leading up to money laundering and all other things that was required. But you know that you don't want to talk it on here. But anyway, me answer this just straight out.
I talk anything that's factual. You know,
there was
some matter of some registration of some company, or it was a board of directors.
Yes, embezzlement.
I don't think he was indicted for that. I think it
because the case didn't get to push how you're supposed to proceed.
Yeah.
The case didn't proceed how you're supposed to proceed because you get into a part in the administration where you were led by Timothy Harris, and that was squashed out in the aspect. And I ain't fair to say so, but I will just say this here. Let me tell the Premier and all who feel into this administration was led by the Labour administration, if they think that is wise for them to go and captivate land to dominate against their own people, well, they're looking for a revolution that will stand within any means necessary. And we're not fear to say it. And we're not talking about killing, we're talking about standing for we cause. Because it's time now people get land to operate for this next generation, not to be begging to where is the land will be delivered. Because these are things that we all foreparents fought for over the centuries during the colonial powers. And you're telling me now we have black people who say they are leaders in this atmosphere. They're doing the same thing like the colonial powers. They're crazy over here, man. That's why I tell you, it's time now we educate people them properly and not look for political garbage. The time now is to educate them how we're going to stand against centralization of power. When these old crooked investors who are talking about, are making deal with, we have no cause for our development, but for the personal gain. And this is what we want to live by. Not time at all. Okay. You have a blessed night. Give thanks.
Have a blessed night as well, my brother, Ras Aya, always very assertive and to the point, but I want to thank you as usual for your interventions, And this email reads, thanks for sending back that email. Patches, Nevisians, beware, remember Jonestown, Guyana. Beware, a bunch of crazy people are coming to take your birthright and alienate you. Mark Brantley is in Nevision by birth. What would he think how the future will judge him with this email? And I thank that emailer for resending that email. And as we wind down tonight's programming, it's 13 before the 10 o'clock hour. The Premier had a national broadcast tonight. I anticipated that he would say nothing, absolutely nothing. So he was caught. He was caught, he was exposed. My thesis I introduced tonight, fair share for the Brantleys, nothing for Nevisians. I made the point that in a nation where food is scarce, and we can think of St. Kitts and Nevis, but greed is plentiful, is not the nation we deserve. And we focus specifically on Nevis, which from all accounts seem to be on the verge of losing its independence, its sovereignty, its land, and its people. The time to act is now. Government corruption, influence peddling, and insider trading we can think about. Conflict of interests, especially involving the Premier, Mark Brantley, and his wife. And he made that confession. But let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Yes, Patrick, I am here.
Is the Bible man?
Yeah, I am here.
Why are you hesitating, Bible man?
Well, I stopped here and listening to you. I had to really come in and encourage somebody in the Lord.
Okay. We always welcome your spiritual interventions.
Yeah. That's it. In Psalm 91, it says, there shall no evil fall thee,
before thee,
neither any plague shall come neither thy dwelling, for he shall give his angel charge over thee. Cottage, in Isaiah 54:17, Cottage, the word of God says, no weapon that form against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that rise up against thee in judgment shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servant of the Lord, and their righteousness of me, said the Lord. Now, Psalm 41, that is the favorite part of the scripture. Mm-hmm. Blessed is the man that considereth the poor. in the time of trouble, the Lord shall deliver him. That's it. God deliver his people now. Psalm 37, verse 25. Here it is, here, Patrick. I was young, now I'm old, yet I neither see the righteous forsaken, neither seed begging bread. And I am going to tell you this straight off the back. When you serve by this Bible man, he has served the Lord. Nobody could stop coming to me. Because anytime you get in the way, I am going to pray and fast and put God on the track for you.
Okay, got you, man.
Hey, you say,
okay.
Yeah, it's a big battle now you want to know. It's the Lord. For me, ain't going to fight with nobody.
Okay.
When you get on the track, I am going to deal with you and put the Lord to fight.
Amen.
Amen. Good night.
Good night, my brother. Good night. That's the Bible man. The battle is the Lord's. That's so correct. As we wind down tonight's programming, it's 8 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. If you've joined me for the first time tonight, we are heard every Monday and Thursday night from 8 to 10 in the PM. Our thesis we advance tonight, we titled Fair Share for Brantleys, Nothing for Nevis. And we raise a few concerns, some grave concerns, where government resources and influence may be used for private enrichment. Transparency and public accountability seem to have been bypassed, and citizens are misled under the banner of economic development. Caller, thank you for holding your live.
Yes, Patches, I just wanted to get back in for a few minutes. I wanted to share a very important piece of information with the listeners and with yourself. Currently, right now, as we're focusing on the lands in Nevis, we are talking about 6 square miles, 1/6 of Nevis. Nevis has that big mountain in the middle, Nevis Peak, 3,000 plus feet up in the sky.
Yes.
I don't think nobody's going to go up there to live. So all the surrounding lands are very important for us to keep in our possession. And as we're only focusing on the 6 square miles on the southeast side of Nevis, if we bring all of the other lands in the equation that has gone out of our possessions, and we add this 6 square miles to it, Patches, half of Nevis is already gone. Believe it or not, all the acreage that Four Seasons has, and Four Seasons, I understand, is now selling villas via the public, the public option with the CBI. So they're taking our land and the public benefit option. So they're taking our lands and now profiting off of it. We see that. We see all the chatter we had with Christoph Harbour, and the Prime Minister sold out our 30% interest over there on that peninsula side of St. Kitts. Now we have the Premier trying to do the same in Nevis. Patches, I'm going to say it one more time. If we put all the lands that have already been gone on the Nevis end and put that 6 square miles together with it, half of Nevis at least is probably gone by now. All the acreage that Four Seasons has, That millionaire Jahi, he got some lands up there too. And Patches, the information that I want to share with the listeners is this. I was reliably informed. And we can go to Google and research this stuff. It's a Canadian company that already got some lands right there somewhere by that Malcolm Gishard Park area. Patches, that company, we don't know what became of them. You can do some research on that and come back. Newfound company. Patches, I'm looking at the information right now. Reports from 2006 to 2012 indicate that a Canadian company acquired land in Nevis, though the user query uses the term Newfound, which could be a misnomer for an older entity called Newfound Group or a reference to Newfoundland. There are no recent reports of a Canadian company named Newfound. Patches, a lot of information is here. All those lands is already gone out of the grasp of the Nevis people's hands. Patches, to the listeners tonight, go research that company Newfound, that Canadian company. A lot of bubble went on with that situation. And these investors that's coming in empty-handed with a briefcase full of air, guess what? This is what they do. They start the projects, get the money, and then roll out and leave the projects unfinished. Thanks a lot, man. You guys have a good night.
Thanks a lot for your contribution, your information. And as we wrap tonight's program in my Street Dog family, I want to reassure you again. I was not here tonight to bring you fear, to alarm you, but to awaken the fire of truth and courage that has long burned in the hearts of our people. I attempted to make you aware that we are on the brink, not just of losing our land, but of losing our soul as a nation. I reminded you that some 3 years ago, in December 2022 to be exact, going on 3 years now, Brantley spoke of this grand plan.
We want to do that South Coast Road to open up the south coast of Nevis for development. I've dubbed that our Southeast Peninsula 2.0 because we recognize this Kennedy Simmons Highway in St. Kitts opened up the Southeast Peninsula for development. We want to do the same because when you leave Long Point all the way around to Gingerland, there's no development, no infrastructure. We want to change that.
You wanted to change that, he said. I'll get back to that, but this email reads, "Good night, Mr. Liburd. This man called Mark must be a scamp, as there is no money to finish the hospital. There is no money to buy supplies for the water department. The port road is so bad for the year. So where he will find the money to do the South Road? I really enjoyed last week's show. Primer. Sometimes I feel Primer is grey, especially when I see him on his friend's yacht," reads this email. So yes, my Straight Up family, he promised this Southeast Peninsula Road 2.0. Many listened politely, but few understood the depths of its consequences. Today, the veil is being pulled back, and what lies beneath is a betrayal of the highest order by a local company called 17 Degrees North. When asked about the company, this was the response of Brantley.
We've been hearing a lot about 17 Degrees North. What is the connection between 17 degrees north and the Nevis Island administration? Is it true that representative of 17 degrees north has been approaching landowners and residents in the area of Long Point to Butlers, trying to negotiate the sale of lands there? If yes, what is the reason?
17 degrees north. I have to smile because 17 degrees north is my wife's business. It's owned by Sharon M. Brantley. It is my wife's business, and she's entitled to have a business just as you are, and just as anybody else in this island is entitled to have a business. As I understand it, 17 degrees north is into real estate, buying and selling of real estate. I'm aware that there are investors who are looking at significant investments on the island. I'm aware that various investors are looking at investing on the island of Nevis.
My Street Talk family, one of these investors is a foreign billionaire named Olivier Janssens. He has never toiled in our fields. He has never raised a family on our soil. He knows nothing of our struggles. No. He moves like a shadow through the halls of our government. Behind his plan lies, or behind his smile, I should say, lies a plan. Not for sustainable development, but for a private principality on our land. All these acres of land from Long Point, as you can see on your screen, that's delineated, all the way down to Gingerland, Saddle Hill, to be exact. And no matter what Mark Brantley said tonight, I submit he was caught red-handed. Because a libertarian black playground, a tax-free haven, with his own laws, his own zones, where Nevisians will be just servants. And there was this breaking news, my Street Talk family.
Roger Ver aka Bitcoin Jesus and Olivier Janssens are trying to transform a long sought-after libertarian ideal into a reality. As Cointelegraph reports, the pair has announced that they're in the process of creating the first independent state governed by libertarian values, and they've invited any like-minded individuals to join them. The pair said Friday that they're working with a team of lawyers to try and figure out how to legally create their own independent country. Ver is a longtime advocate of Bitcoin who surrendered his U.S. citizenship and became a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis a few years back. The pair have yet to disclose the location, nor has indicated what entry standards would be required. The country, which would be reminiscent of Ayn Rand's Gaussian paradise, is intended to be a place where those who reject governmental controls and seek to maintain libertarian freedoms can gather and promote a truly free society.
My Street Dog family, because of the backlash Mark Brantley would have received, I bet he denied tonight that there will be eminent domain, a tool meant to serve public good. I bet he denied that it will become a weapon of coercion. I bet he denied that landowners will be intimidated. I bet he denied that families will be pressured. I bet he denied that communities will be divided. And who will stand by and watch? Who will facilitate it? Premier Brantley. While he stood in front of the cameras and spoke of special sustainable zones, Janssens and his associates were speaking a different language. In a press release, spearheaded by Janssen himself, they did not speak of Nevis. but they spoke of their plans to develop a libertarian country, a nation within a nation, complete with its own laws, its own economy, its own security forces, and yes, its own energy supply. But ask yourselves a question. Isn't Nevis developing geothermal energy for the entire Federation? So why does this new zone need its own energy source? What are they planning that requires complete detachment from our island's infrastructure? Let's speak truth. This isn't about development. This is about exile, secession, and sovereignty for sale. Ask yourselves a question. Why did Mark Brantley just come tonight to the people after being so quiet and in denial for so long? He promised 2 terms for Premier. When will he bring the legislation?
We have said in our manifesto that we now want to introduce term limits for the Premier. 2 terms. And then it's bye-bye. Somebody else should be able to step up to the plate.
We want to tell Mark Brantley bye-bye. He can go where the hell he wants to go after, by his libertarian enclave. The people of Nevis get nothing, while the Brantleys get everything, their fair share. This is modern-day colonization, led not by foreign powers alone, but by our own premier, a modern-day slave trader, capturing the land and the people of Nevis, binding us with invisible chains, and delivering us to Europe's ultra-rich. Make no mistake, Johnson's has already married into royalty, the granddaughter of King Umberto, who had the shortest reign. I think it was just 35 days. That's his granddaughter, his wife, the king's granddaughter. But my straight dog family, they are not just buying land. They are building a new nation and a principality on our soil. They plan to pay off Nevis's debts and in return own part of the country. And let us not forget Roger Ver, Johnson's associate, known as Bitcoin Jesus, now sitting in an American jail. These are the men our premier has welcomed into our future. Criminals, opportunists, global libertarians, turning our paradise into their playgrounds. I play this and I need to do it one more time.
Which would be reminiscent of Ayn Rand's Gaussian paradise. Roger Ver aka Bitcoin Jesus and Olivier Janssens are trying to transform a long sought after libertarian ideal into a reality. As Cointelegraph reports, the pair has announced that they're in the process of creating the first independent state governed by libertarian values. And
are they going to be, or is that state going to be in Nevis? We don't know. But Nevis is not for sale. We the people will not be coerced. I speak for Nevisians as a Nevisian born in St. Kitts. We will not be silenced, and we will not allow Mark Brantley to sell our land, even as your wife Sharon does a realtor business. We will not.
We've been hearing a lot about 17 degrees north. What is the connection between 17 degrees north and the Nevis Island administration? Is it true that representative of 17 degrees north has been approaching landowners and residents in the area of Long Point to Butlers, trying to negotiate the sale of lands there? If yes, what is the reason?
17 degrees north. I have to smile because 17 degrees north is my wife's business. It's owned by Sharon M. Brantley. It is my wife's business, and she's entitled to have a business just as you are, and just as anybody else in this island is entitled to have a business.
And this is not a laughing matter, my straight dog family. It's about sustainability. Sustainable for who? I ask. Who is this really sustaining? not the people of Nevis, not our farmers, not our youth, not our small businesses. No. It sustains one billionaire, one premier and his wife, and one corrupted vision. And the private greed of a political elite who have mistaken public office for personal ownership. Let us be clear. The premier's wife has no electoral mandate, no constitutional authority, no moral right. Began purchasing land in the very area now slated for the so-called Southeast Peninsula 2.0. A scheme born in backroom deals and sealed by self-interest. A project designed not to uplift Nevisians, but to enrich a chosen few. The Premier, he took to the airwaves tonight. I guarantee he did not mention his billionaire friend. Someone confirmed he did not. His billionaire friend whom he spends vacation on his multi-million-dollar yacht in Monaco. But the facts, my Straight Talk family, the facts speak louder than his words. And the people are not fools. The people are not fools. This is not development. This is dispossession. This is not progress. This is plunder. And if the leader truly believes his wife had the right to sell out the soul of Nevis, if he fears to defend this grotesque land grab, then he must be voted out and driven out. Because no leader who trades away the sovereignty of his people deserves to sit one more day in the seat of power. Our land, our birthright, is being taken from us, not sold to empower our people, not least to bring long-term benefit to Nevisians, but handed over piece by piece to foreign billionaires. And who is helping to broker these deals? A real estate company called 17 Degrees North, which just happens to be run by Sharon M. Brantley, the wife of the Premier. Let me repeat that the wife of the Premier is the principal of the real estate company involved in this so-called development project. She has sent emails to some people. Does that sound like fairness? Does that sound like transparency? No. It sounds like a family empire being built with public power and private greed. While ordinary Nevisians are told to wait patiently for jobs, for roads, for a trickle-down miracle, there is fair share for the Brantleys, nothing for Nevisians. And that's my soul tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. But I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. As always, I want to thank you, the many viewers, those who just perhaps listen on your whatever equipment, your phones. You are the ones, those who called, those who sent emails. You are the ones who make Straight Talk. And for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I'm Ian Patches Liburd, and God's spear, we will connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until that time, when we reconnect, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light and thank Him for taking you through the night. My Straight Talk family, bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday, keep moving on. Bye-bye.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks. praises for taking me safely through the night.